All right, guys, I'm ready. Are you ready? I am so ready. I'm excited, but I stay excited. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. All right. Hey, are you ready? Hi, everyone. Hello. Hello. So good to see you. Hello, everyone. God bless you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Bravo with Sheila. I am so excited about tonight. Yay, we are back together again for another night of chatting and having a little fun. Bravo to all of you. Oh, Princessa, bravo, bravo. Ine, bravo, bravo. The Bravettes are here in the house. Take that right hand, that left hand, and give yourself a bravo just because, and you do not need permission. I said you do not need permission. Give yourself a bravo just because. Even those of you on Facebook, go ahead. You know how we do it. Give yourself a bravo right now, right this minute, this moment, for whatever. Give yourself a bravo. You don't need a standing ovation. You just need to give yourself what you need to give yourself. Touch your heart, your chest, your lungs, your mind, whatever you need to do. Go ahead and give yourself a bravo. Listen, I'm excited tonight. I got my co-host with me, the beautiful Dawn Brathwaite. We are going to chop it up tonight and have a really good time chatting with you about this incredible topic. I want you guys to jump in and give feedback, feedback, feedback. Right? This channel is designed to move you from pain to power and from power to victory. Those of you that don't know, my name is Sheila Ingram, and I'm in these YouTube streets hanging with a whole lot of other people, and we're just moving people along and giving them nuggets and jewels and trying to get us all together, right? Even us YouTubers, we need switches off and switches on, and we need building up. Listen, it's about life. It's about life. It's about life. And no one has arrived, right? That's why I love people to speak back from the chat. So, we can learn from each other. We can teach each other. We can love on each other for the time that we are here. And that's one thing I love about YouTube is that you're able to just run your own ship, say what you want to say in context, right? And be able to share from the cup of your life and from your heart. And listen, like I said, I'm here because I'm here. I'm not here to get a million numbers. If the Lord sees fit to do that, then praise him, right? But I'm here just because I'm here. And, I just feel led to always talk to women and men. We have brave brothers that come over here too. We welcome them as well. So listen, we're going to get into some wonderful conversation tonight. And we know how we do. The Bravettes are in here. My girls are already here. They are already here. And so I'm not going to hold up anything else. We're going to chat a little bit and chop it up, as they say. And then I'm going to bring on, in a second, I'm going to bring on the beautiful Dawn Brathwaite. I'm so happy. She's my niece. Yeah. And I'm her auntie. Yeah. And so we want to just extend love to you tonight. And I want this broadcast to be something that you can embrace and just pull some nuggets, long as you can walk away with something. But again, it's not all about me. It's about the chat. It's about the chat. So Princessa, I love you. Ine, I love you. And those of you on Facebook that's coming into the room, I love you guys. And let's get into it. But before we do, let me bring the beautiful Dawn Brathwaite up. And then we're going to do this intro, and then we're going to get into it. Hello, hello. You are one woman. You just ran in the house. You are a woman.
Yes,
I'm so
good. We
So
gotta
many
make it do what it
challenges.
do, Auntie. We gotta make it do what it do.
Driving up those mountains. You was like, I'm in these mountains, right? Oh my goodness. I want you to take a breather. Did you get a cool beverage?
You,
Get your little
I'm
cool
prepared.
beverage, okay, get your
I'm
little water,
prepared.
whatever. You're prepared. Good. I want you to breathe and just just kind of bring it down and switch hats because I know you just
Mhm.
left how we say the people's work.
Indeed, the people.
The people's work. And so we want to get into it. So let me play this. Let's get into the intro. Let me just drop this intro and then we'll be right back. Now, which one should I play today? Should I play Raising the Bar? I think I'm going to do.
Go for it.
Go for it. What do you think I should do,
Kick
niece?
it up. Kick it up.
Oh, no, let's just stay with Bravo. All right.
All
Listen,
right.
we are back. We are back. And listen, Dawn, I've been thinking about this topic. I'm always thinking, right? I've been thinking about this topic for a minute. I've been in this kind of lane for a while now. Just understanding, there's so much conversation, not just in the YouTube streets about
Mhm.
men, women, modern day women, traditional, not just in the YouTube streets. It's all over. It is the chatter that's going on all
Mhm.
over. And there's contention, there's some contention, there's some not enough unity. There's different,
Mhm.
everyone is entitled to their opinion and their own experience, right? Because we bring our own experience to everything that we do, right? And this whole thing with men and women and modern day traditional or just women in general, I don't even want to tag that on it tonight. I just want to talk about what is the problem and what happened to the fence being broken down, in terms of the coverings and the protection. And I want to talk about some things, and I have some things that I, looked at, and I want to kind of refer to some of those comments so that we can actually spin it into a conversation. And so tonight's topic is a woman is a flower in a garden. Her husband, her partner, is the fence around it. What do you think about that?
I thought when I saw it, I was like, that first of all, it's very powerful, it's very profound, and it's like a wake up call. You know, I feel like we've gotten so far apart from each other that the concept of being one, we've made it more difficult than it needs to be because we drag so much outside baggage into our relationships that it makes us enemies with each other before we're even allowed to be friends with one another. So everyone is in their roles or trying to defend their roles, trying to make sure they're getting what they need in their role without
Uh,
understanding that we work together, you know.
the unity,
Yeah.
the
And it's
unity.
become so individualistic that it's like a job interview, for the government, just trying to go on a date to get to know someone or even being in a relationship with someone, and we've forgotten that the key points of relationship is, like you said, a woman is a garden, the man is the fence around it. You're protecting what's inside the garden, feeding you, and the garden continues to feed you because it is protected. It has to be reciprocal.
That's true. But where do you think the breakdown has happened? I mean, all I can do, and like I said a few minutes ago, is speak about my own experience, right? And we come from our experience. We can refer to our own experience. And once again, we talk about the generational shifts, right? From the
Mhm.
boomer experience. And when I get talk to people who are who had been here before me, their experience and their wisdom and what they say is different from what my generation, not that much different, but it did shift. And now we talk about the millennial shift and then the Gen Z and the Gen. It's so many dynamics to our lives, right? How do women keep up with being what we should be in terms of the woman that God has called us to be, as well as who we are connected to, because every household is different and every culture within the house,
Mhm.
there's subcultures within, what I did
Yeah.
in my house may not be how you grew up. So we just learn behavior and environmental impact that kind of condenses us. And I used to say, I'm a product of what I lived. I stopped saying that. I'm not a product of what
Right.
I've lived. Because if I'm a product of what I've lived, you muted yourself. If I'm a
Yeah.
product of what I've lived, then we gotta talk a long time, right? So I stopped tagging that on me
Right.
because I have shifted from being what I experience, although the experience does have take a toll and has taken a toll, right? And so even with me getting older, there's certain things now that I didn't think about at all around 10 years ago, at all, right? In terms of life, in terms of experience, and now in terms of relationship, because things have changed so much. And I hear a lot of times, even in the YouTube streets, how men, I'm telling you, some of these platforms, you just have to come and look one night because it gets
Mhm.
heated. It gets sometimes, not all the time, but it gets heated. You have some firecracker women on these platforms that are totally in disagreement with what some of the men are saying, right? And sometimes they're not listening, sometimes they are. But then I found there are some men, and I don't want to say a lot, that I could see pain and anger, in a sense, the underlying
Mhm.
anger from what they've experienced that they have yet not to deal with,
Mhm.
right? So they would say that if a man breaks you, if a man harms you, if a man breaks you emotionally, it takes a man to restore you, right? They say all these different things. Not just, I'm not saying that they say that in the YouTube streets. I'm saying that's a blanket statement I've heard for
Right.
years, that if a man breaks you, it's a man that has to fix you. Mm, I guess that's debatable, right? So I want to read something. I want to read something about I'm on these African proverbs in the last month or so, and
Beautiful.
I'm getting ready to go to the next two or three of them that really touch my heart. I'm getting ready to put up the thumbnails for like two or three more that it alarms a conversation, especially for today, right? Because
Mhm.
these proverbs come from a long time ago. The conversation around them years ago is not the conversation you're hearing now.
Wow.
You're
Mhm.
hearing now.
Mhm.
Why? Because of the experience and how things have shifted. And so we as people have to learn how to pivot and shift as well, or else we'll
Mhm.
be stuck in a place where no one will receive from us or we won't understand what's going on.
Mhm.
So let me read a little bit about this. A woman is like a flower, her husband is a fence around it, meaning women and men are so unique in who they are. And this proverb helps us to understand the distinction between men and women. A woman is a flower in a garden, her husband is the fence around it. A flower, we know, is soft in contrast to a fence, which is hard. I like
Mhm.
that. A flower, we know, is soft in contrast to a fence, which is hard. That is to say that generally speaking, women are disposed to be tender, whereas men are inclined to be tough. Well, here's the question. Here's the question they're asking: which is better? Which is better? And they say to be tender or to be tough. Which one is better? But the answer is relative, right? To a given situation. So none is in itself better than the other. They are like
Mhm.
the left ear and the right ear. You can't say the left ear is better than the right ear or vice versa, right? The two important, they are both important and are meant to work together to bring balance. To
Mhm.
bring balance. I'll stop there and come back and finish that next paragraph. What do you think about this?
You said so much right there.
Yeah.
Um, it's a lot of meat right there.
Yeah.
But I think that, a lot of the problem, the fact that the question being raised is which one is better, automatically puts us at odds with each other,
Hmm.
and it devalues your partner, who you're with, because we're not in competition. We're supposed to operate in concert.
There you
If
go.
there is, what's the point of having a fence? What are you protecting if there's nothing inside? What are
Right.
you guarding? you
Right.
know and to be a flower, to be delicate, and to be gentle and tender, you have to know that there's a strength that you need that you don't have. There's a strength that you need to
Mm.
cover you in order for you to remain in that character that you were created to be in. So it's not that, one is better than the other. And I think that we have gotten to a place where we as men and women, and truthfully in our community, we are constantly at odds with each other, constantly
True.
treating each other as the enemy, constantly pitting one against the other. Everyone wants to be heard, but no one wants to listen.
Mm.
You
True.
know, and
So
but
true.
if we allow each other to be who we're supposed to be to each other, we would grow together. We would get better together. You made a point about the pivot and the shift of how the proverb was mentioned years ago, and right now, it's how what its intent was then is different from now, or how it was applied then is different than now. But we still have to keep the principles of these proverbs, and we have to pivot and shift with them and make them relative to our time.
Right.
And I think we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
And one thing I know that I keep before me now as I think about relationships, of all kinds. And even as I've had to, and I said this once before, I had to unlearn some things so
Yeah.
that I can learn, not even relearn. Because if I
Yeah.
relearn what I learned before, I'll be in the same place. So I'm
Yep.
unlearning so that I can learn properly. And one of the things that I use as my canon or my guide, my boundaries is, do I want to be right or do I want to get it right?
I like that.
And we have to think about, is the fight, the old saying, choose your battles.
Yeah.
We have to choose our battles. And and I'm kind of working backwards with what you were saying.
No, it
um
doesn't. You don't have to do. You know how we flow. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah, I'm just saying my thoughts. I'm like, you made a
Yeah.
good point when you were talking about how you said you had to change your vernacular about being a product of what you lived.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also very profound for me because, truthfully, we are a product of what we lived, and we can't erase that. But the beauty of being a product of what we lived is that's not all that we are, because
Right.
now you're the product, and now you become
Right.
the seed, or you become the foundation. There's always an opportunity now that you have a product. How many products are out here, just for example, that they
Yeah.
go to the revised version, they add on
Yeah.
to an updated version, they come with
Exactly.
different flavors. So being a product of what we lived is so important because it's
Yeah.
our foundation, but we get to reset that.
Add on. They're
Right.
add-ons.
And you don't have to repeat. you
No,
know
that is so good, because, even saying that, and remember that, I was a product, I am a product, but I tend to have moved from that, as you're saying, because I've evolved. And I like what you
hmm
said, to a new type of product. Although the product that's within me, the substance, is what got me here, right?
right,
It's
right,
it's really whether it was good, bad, or different, good, bad, or ugly, right?
right,
We're still standing, right? And so sometimes
right,
that's why I say we have to sit in it and sit with ourselves and start dissecting the things that we've picked up along the way, even some of the
right.
things that we were taught. Like I said, learn behavior, because in our culture, well, I know for me, if your mom says something, that's it, that's law.
Listen,
If your mom or your dad said something, not no, even if they came from dysfunction, or even if something was passed to them that was like, right, but we didn't hear that part. We weren't there to see that. But when
no way.
your mom says something, my mother said,
Right is what it is.
and that's it. That's the word. That's it. But then, as you grow and become an adult, you realize that some of those things was, oh, They didn't get
Right.
me far. A lot of them did, but some of them become a religious ritual that you
Yeah.
have to move. Like you said,
Yeah.
we have to learn how to shift and move some of the things we were taught, even mostly even in relationships. And if you are a woman of color or any type of woman, because I don't want to lock this show just into women of color, I'm talking about women
Right.
at large, right?
Right.
If you focus on the negative, and if you focus and don't sit in some of the things, sit with you and get rid of some of that thing so a man can be a fence
Right.
around you, right? Because if not, some of the strengths that I picked up along the way, right? You know, people know my story by now, being a widow at 17, left with 2 children. You could imagine that I was never 17. So I became
Right.
an adult so quick. What did I miss? A lot.
Right. Right.
What I missed so much, right? And later I had to not come back and get it, but catch up with what I should have gotten, right? But
Right.
some of that stuff that I picked up wasn't good, because even in strength, because we're forced to be, I was forced to be a mother of 2 little girls at the age of 17. Husband gone. That's why tomorrow is not promised to us. You never know what's
Right.
going to happen. So some of those things that happened to me, like I said earlier, we talk by experience. Some of
Mm-hmm.
those things that happened, I had to really erase or try to edge them out of me, not to deny my strength, but to realize that I had to not be as strong as I thought I had to be to get my
Right.
point across or to survive, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
if you're a single woman, young, it's this thing that comes on you that causes you to have to fight, right?
Yep.
You have to provide, you have to change tires, and I had to learn about batteries and things that usually a husband or someone with you, that your partner would get out, say, stay in the car, let me pump the gas, and all these different things. Carry my bags, 8 bags over here, 2 bags
Right.
over here, so
Right.
that even when you see someone and they come home, like, Miss, you all right? I'm fine.
Right.
Instead of
Right. I
saying,
got
yeah,
you.
help me, I
Got
got
you.
this. So
Because we got so used to it. You become. I know. I did the same thing. I had to learn how to. I have a hard time letting someone help me, and I feel like it's we are. You become the woman, but you forget how to be the lady.
yeah, you
You know.
forget that lady gets buried, not on
Listen.
purpose, because
But.
the everyday hustle and the everyday grind of producing for your family as a
Hmm.
single parent kind of doesn't let you be the lady,
You sure
right?
don't. You
And I
got
mean, I've
time.
never been rough or anything. You know what I'm saying? I've never been one of
Hmm.
those women that are rough or talk rough. But inside of me was survival. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
I got,
Yes.
I got to produce. I got to survive. But that
Yes.
takes away a lot of time. So that when you do find a man who's looking for a wife or someone to really take care of, some of those layers have to come off of me, because I'm like, I got it. I could do this. Da, 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 da. And men will sit back like, wait a minute, let me do it. And you have to learn
Right.
how to relax, because then trust has to happen, right? You have to trust somebody now. When you've been doing it all along, then here's another one. Oh, you got to do it like how I do it.
Lord, see, you pray for me. Pray. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning
Oh
to
my
like.
goodness.
Okay. But it's true. It's true. And it's because we, in keeping with the proverb, like we women who are single moms, we become the flower that has no fence. So we
Yes.
have to
Oh,
be you
yes.
you you have no other choice, like you said,
Oh
but to
my.
do these things. And it's like I can't, like I don't have time to be a lady right now. I gotta, like you said, I have to take on that role of being everything and anything. So the lady in me has to get that. I can't be tender right now, because
Yeah.
if I'm tender right now,
Oh,
I'll be vulnerable, I'll
and the
be
wrong one come
target.
along. Oh my.
Listen, you already got problems. You don't need the problem on top of a problem.
Exactly. So listen to this comment. This gentleman said it's a man's duty to provide, protect, and guide the family. The fence around it. A woman does the same, assist the husband in raising kids. When a flower is fenced, it becomes beautiful, strong, and free from harm. Yeah,
Hmm. That's
That's such a beautiful story. You know, I
It
mean,
really
like,
it
hey,
is.
what woman doesn't want that, right? What woman does not want to relax and have that type of care where they can trust
Right.
their partner, their husband, their mate to relax, like just relax and know that they're not gonna what? He's gonna keep you free from harm. Listen
Hmm.
to this person who said this. A woman says men are to protect women. And this man says, as a man, it's an obligation to protect, defend, guide, and supporting a woman so that she blossoms. I like that. I like this. But here's one more, and then we'll jump into some conversation. He says, pray that you don't marry a woman who will force a man into the garden and become the fence herself.
Mm, well, well,
Oh my God. He says that is that is where you will see a man weeping like a baby. Pray that such woman don't come your way. Wow. That is so strong.
yeah, because
What
it's like
happens when the woman becomes the fence?
you have emasculated this man, and you switch roles, and I feel it throws them out of pocket, very much so, because their innate nature to do what they do in guiding and protecting and governing, it's like, if you're doing all of that, then what am I supposed to do?
Why am I
And
here?
right. And then they're trying to love you, they're trying to be there, but they fall back. And I think that falling back that they do, trying to allow us to be who we want to be, not necessarily who we're supposed to be, but who we want to be.
Yeah,
um that's what causes that ripple for him. Then now he's become, the weeper, the
exactly.
weeping flower, you know
Exactly.
and I think a lot of times, one of the things, as you were reading that, and I thought about, I think a lot of reason why some women have problems with men being a fence, and can't embrace that as a form of protection, is because a fence protects, but it also keeps things locked in, so it's a point of
Ah,
control. And you know how we are when we've been doing this thing for so long, guilty, like, I don't like, don't tell me what to do, because I don't need to be controlled, and I don't want, and we don't know how to receive. It's a difference. The fence is not there to control you, it's there to protect you. But
yeah,
this is where you're saying, like, the trust has to come in. And I
yeah,
think that's what happens when when men try to give us our way, without trying to break us or offend
yeah,
us.
yeah.
They
And
eventually end up being the weeping flower. That's
yeah,
no better.
no, I mean when I saw him, when he said that, and he says, it says, pray that you don't marry a woman who will force a man into the garden. Listen to the words.
Enforce it,
Force
right.
a man into the garden and become the fence herself. That is where you will see a man weeping like a baby.
Hmm.
Pray that such a woman does not come your way. And as I always refer to a lot, right, in the YouTube streets, in the manosphere, in these panels and stuff, this is classic of what they're crying about, what they're saying.
Right.
The lack of feminism, just being rough.
Hmm.
They say they want one thing and then they don't really want that. And, it's just so much going on between men and women right now. And there's a breakdown. And other thing that is important to understand culturally, there was a platform the other night and they were talking about that why are our black men all getting their passports, going to other countries. They talked about DR and
Yeah.
about how those cultures uh they're raised to take care of their man, period. Right? I mean, whatever. But
Hmm.
it's culturally embedded in them. They say that the women respect, and this is not across the board, right? We know their ratio and percentage and all of that. But culture has a lot to do with how women respond to men and how they allow men to lead. right? Like we talked earlier about how life happens to you and you are forced to become strong. You are
Hmm.
forced to survive. Like, I never thought my husband was, going to get killed the same day my daughter was going to be born. I had been married
Right.
for 4 months, right? So here I am, this young girl with these two kids. What do I do? How
Right.
do like I said, I had lived the life of someone 35, 40. I never was 17, 18, 19. So look at all the jewels that I didn't get. And I had to find out on my own because, my mom, I come from a house where my dad was there. As a matter of fact, today is his heavenly birthday.
Oh,
Happy
amen.
heavenly
Right.
birthday, Dad.
Happy heavenly.
Happy heavenly birthday, Dad. Tomorrow's my mom's. Happy heavenly birthday to my mom.
Okay.
They were a day apart, and my father was a wonderful individual. He was this incredible man, but he had a mistress and her name was alcohol. And, if he took one
Mm.
little sip of alcohol, the whole house was upside down, right? And it was that thing. So my mom became a single parent. So imagine some of the things that I didn't get, my sister and my brother, we didn't get. And then I never
Right.
really saw a married couples that were successful. And I never witnessed that, going here
Right.
and there. But so when you don't have experience in certain things, it does affect you in the knowledge you have about a thing or whatever
Hmm.
person. And so when you have different cultures that are raised to be that flower behind the fence and know how to let that man be the fence, right? That's something different. So when we talk about things like that, people come from different walks of life. This gentleman says flowers may lose shape and wither. It is the duty of the husband to water it and nourish it in order to look beautiful again.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
This is a beautiful thing. It's really, you said so much, and it's really, really important. One of the things as you were speaking, um, in all of this, and like you said about culture and our backgrounds and our experiences, and we as women, this phrase I have to tend to agree with. But we as women, and may buck up friction, but whatever, we're gonna stir the pot.
Stir
Because
the pot.
we listen,
Stir
we
it.
gonna stir it because you know what, we ain't gonna get nowhere, we ain't gonna get healed, we ain't gonna get no better, we ain't gonna get forward till we deal with it. But one of the things that we hear that instantly causes vexation is know your place,
Mm.
you know. But it's the mindset that you have about those words. There's a beauty in knowing your place.
Mm-hmm.
It is not necessarily derogatory. You have to know who you're with, and
Yes.
you have to know who you are, you
Right.
know. And when you know your place, my place is not to, lift bags. I
Right.
don't like to take out the garbage. I will not do it. My son does it now. I did it when I lived alone, before I had him yet. But as a kid, there were certain chores that we had, me and my sister, and other things that my brothers did. Me and my sister did not take out the garbage. My father was
Mm-hmm.
like, that is not their job. That
Mm-hmm.
is your job.
That's
The man,
important.
they might, it's just knowing your place.
Yeah.
You are a lady. You're not to touch this. You're not to. My father, on one hand, was like, your hands should not get dirty, but you also should not be afraid to get your hands dirty. You
Mm.
know, so he taught us duality, but we still had to know our place as a woman and as a female. And we as women have to, I want to say, take the sting out of that
Mm-hmm.
and know that knowing your place is not always a negative thing.
That's important because people, again, you can get lost and
Hmm.
lose knowing your place based on your
Hmm.
life,
Right.
right? And it takes conversations like this. It takes being around solid people,
Hmm.
friendships that don't mind checking you with love, right?
Right.
With love,
With
sharing with
love.
you and helping you to grow, right?
Mhm.
Helping you to blossom and be this flower. Because there are some friends that I've had that come from a different background, married, whatever. And I've been married since my husband passed, but that didn't work out, right? And I had to learn. how to stop allowing people to be a crutch, right? Like a
Right.
crutch, right? And as I found out those things, because when you're a giver and when you have love in your heart and when you want the
Yeah.
best for people and you have to learn, and what I had to learn later was boundaries.
Right.
I had to learn boundaries. And so knowing my place, I mean, as a woman, I don't think I've ever lost that, but
Hmm.
I do believe that, I did work on me to realize that some of those things I could take some of those layers off, because I
Right.
have to learn how to be open for something to come
Have to
towards
leave
me,
room.
for
Right.
me to
Right.
receive it. But knowing your place is so important, because a lot of women do not know their place because they had to play double roles. Or even if they haven't had to play double roles, they just decided that I pay my own bills, I got a good job, I buy my stuff, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And in that itself, you can lose that
Hmm.
part of you that's supposed to be joined with someone else.
You lose that lady. You lose that lady. And it's really important because, um, even in knowing you, when you know your place, I feel like men, and this may sound crazy too, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Again, we stir in the pot, so we just gonna
Stir,
stir it.
stir, stir it,
We
stir the
stir
pot.
it. I feel like men, in a sense, want you to. The best way I can put it is, you need to make some demands, and I don't mean it in a strong way of being a dictator, but
Hmm.
have a standard. You know,
Yeah.
um, let them earn your love. The saying, anything worth having is worth fighting for. If
Hmm.
something comes to you too easy, it's not worth it. you know and this comes along with knowing your place, allowing yourself to be the lady. There's certain
Hmm.
men you can go out with who, if you always opening the door, they'll never open the door. But if you
Hmm.
stand at that door long enough, no, you got, they will open the door for you. I
Right.
am
And
that type of
yeah,
person that when I'm with
absolutely.
you, and know your place,
That's what
be
you mean
that
by saying
flower.
know your place. Yeah.
Right,
Just
right,
let the man lead. Let him be what he can be to you, so that
right,
you can relax and be the lady you choose to be. But when he needs the strength to rise up, just don't put the strength to sleep, because I don't think my
right.
strength could ever go to sleep, because listen, I done walked a hard life. So I don't think I don't think my strength,
No,
I need her over there in that
there,
part. You
she's
know what I mean?
always awake. She's
I
always
need her.
woke.
Yeah, because
Just stay woke.
listen, you gotta have, because when our culture, we need strong women with strong
Mm-hmm.
men. When we're fighting and getting together and trying to build, then I don't need to be behind the fence 24/7 watering the flowers. And if you
Right,
say, babe, let me open this fence for you, we gotta go and do some things
right,
together. That's
right,
still letting him be who he needs to be. I'm
right.
not saying to the women go to sleep and beat it. No, 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 no.
No,
Because that'll never happen with me, because I'm a helper and a doer and a succeeder and let's do something. I love to work with my partner and see what we can make and what we can build.
mm-hmm.
And even if I love giving jewels that he doesn't have, and
Right.
jewels coming back towards me, where it's balanced out. Let's see. I see some comments on Facebook. Let's see, co-host, what we got.
But we got,
Jeanette,
but we got.
Jeanette Moore, thank you, thank you. She's been a friend for over 55, 60 years. We are close, close.
That's a
Jeanette
friend.
says, yeah, we've come through a lot. That statement was so true. Yes, you have to know your place and what you're strong in doing. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
My son, Sherrod Tomlinson, says place wording sometimes create a negative narrative, and that's true as
Mm-hmm.
well. Then he puts 100, and Jeanette says yes. And so keep the comments coming. That is so important for us to understand, to never forget where we come from, to let that be the jewels that, I always say, don't ever go through something and allow the enemy to just let you leave all beat up,
Right,
right? You
right.
got to come out with something so that God can be glorified,
That's
right?
right.
You got
That's
to
right.
come out with a jewel. You can't
Somebody
say,
with
oh,
your head
Satan
up.
tore me up with his boys. I was in there and he was trying, but listen, I came out as a winner, as a winner. Let's see, is another comment here. And this gentleman says, what happens to flowers that jump the fence?
Well, That's a whole other story. A flower that
That
jump the fence, you uprooting yourself. You gonna die slow. You know, eventually you're gonna die slow when you
Why
jump the
do we
fence.
think women jump the fence though? Because this is true. Women will start out getting a relationship, and the man will be doing everything, you know, they should be doing, and they get bored, and they be like, "This ain't for me no more. I'm leaving." But when they leave, they find out what's that quote? The grass is not green
It's
on the
not
other
good on
on
the
the
other
other
side.
side, right? It look like it's a better thing out there, and you wind
Sometimes it's
up jumping
astroturf.
the fence.
Sometimes it's astroturf. You gotta be careful. You know, um, I think it has. We've gotten away from uh, the point of love covers. You know, I think we also have. I want to say glamorized relationships and romance. And romance is wonderful and it's great. I'm hopeless romantic. I love all of that good stuff. But that's but a moment,
Yeah,
and the root, you have to make sure that the root of your relationship, is founded in your friendship and that you like each other enough, that you are committed to each other enough, that you love each other enough to cover, because you're gonna get bored. I'm a
Sir
person like you
Hell
got
is
to keep
greeting
me
you.
busy. Hmm?
Sir Hell is greeting you.
Hi, Sir Hale. How are you,
Yeah, that's
my
real
brother?
talk what you're saying. That is so true too. We're saying some real strong things. A woman needs to know her place. A woman needs to not let the lady die. Despite you might have all the reasons why she sleep. I mean, sleeping is one thing. Dying is another thing. A woman that allows the lady to die is a woman who has totally
Hmm.
just let go of who she is and who
Right.
she's supposed to be. And I'm sorry that I keep going back to this gentleman's comment because I can feel what he's saying, when the
Hmm.
gentleman is talking about pray that you don't marry a woman who will force
Yeah.
a man into the garden. First of all, he said, pray
Hmm.
that you, right,
If you
that
don't.
you will look, pray that you don't marry a woman who will force a man into the garden and become the fence herself. So for that to come from him, that's real talk,
That's a
right?
place
That's
of
like
experience.
experience.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He said that is where you will see a man weeping like a baby.
It's
Pray
regret.
that such women don't come your way. That's experience talking. That's
Yeah.
not something he just said,
Right.
right?
That's no
And
pretty comment. That's not
that's
pretty.
that's not it's a heartfelt comment.
Hmm.
And he's saying he's not saying he is saying in so many words, but listen, that's a jewel right there. And I like the fact what the other gentleman said, flowers may lose shape and wither. It is the duty of the husband to water it and nourish it in order for it to look beautiful again, right?
Hmm.
Because relationships can take away, right? Relationships can either do a withdrawal or deposit,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So it could be a negative deposit, right?
Yeah.
And if you do that over a length of time, and I just said to you, the gentleman here says, what happens to the flowers that jump the fence? Now, we're gonna give the women a little grace. I mean, if you're going through something that's not healthy, if you're in a situation that's harmful, then yeah, jump the fence.
Right.
If that's something that is a matter of life or death, or something that is chipping away at you, because I talked about on the other program how the enemy will chip and chip and
Yeah.
chip and
Yeah.
chip to deplete you. But at
Hmm.
some point we have to sit with ourselves, by ourselves, and kind of put ourselves, look in that mirror, just look right in the mirror. Michael Jackson was ahead of his time with that man in the
Right.
mirror.
Looking at the
That's so
man.
scriptural,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That was all
Right?
the prophetic.
Yeah, yeah. So as we said earlier, that this a woman is a flower in a garden, her husband is the fence around her. Back in the day, it was beautiful because women love to just just be in their place, as we say. But the transition of life and where we are in 2000, I mean, we're getting ready to be in 2023.
Hmm.
So many things have changed. And like I asked you earlier, like, how did we get to this place in terms of men women relationship? I know, I don't know, like I can only speak about me, right? I don't think I've ever outwardly disrespected. Now I might have been flipped with my mouth. I might
When
have,
necessary.
I'll own that. I might have been flipped because again I was challenged with him saying what I should do and should not do when I had been by myself for all those years raising my kids by myself. So you got to take a little time now. When you
Right.
get
You
a
gotta have
woman
a little
like me,
grace.
you got to give me a little grace and let me undress some of those
Right.
things. Let me
In the
undress.
room.
Let me undress some of that package, that load, that stuff that protected me to get to you,
Right. Right.
right? Because I had to do some things to get to you.
Right. Because
So
I
a man
already did some work.
Right. So a man has to come in with the knowledge of who he's dealing with, where this
Yes,
woman
ma'am.
has been,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And if she's worth it, and if they're worth moving forward, then that's when the balance comes, and that's when the grace comes. But what
That's
happened
true.
to this type of situation? There's a lot going on where men and women are like, it's like I tell you, sometimes in the YouTube streets on some of these platforms, some of these women be rough. They're and the men be like, see, y'all don't
Right.
want no husband. Da, 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 da,
You're
da.
not
Why
talking
you
like
say that?
that.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, but they be trying to prove a point. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
what you say, it's
It's how
how
you
you
say it.
say it. You can't come at somebody, a man who knows who he is, and think you're gonna get the right response.
Right. And one thing I appreciate that men are speaking up more now than they ever have before. It's almost
That's
like
what I'm saying. It's
they are
not just
so
in the
sick.
YouTube streets, it's
Yeah.
everywhere. Men are
Right.
speaking out.
It's an epidemic now. Men is like having a uproar. It's like a revolution or something. And on one hand, I'm like, I ain't mad at it, bro. Speak your truth. I hear
Right.
you. Your
Yes.
feelings is your feelings. And women, we have to learn how to just stand down and lean in sometimes. We have to stop and don't take everything so personal. It's just like when we're having a moment, when we hold things in for too long and then something happens, you've been mad at everything in the world. And the one day somebody don't put the cap back on the toothpaste. So now you don't went off
Oh,
for 25
oh,
minutes.
oh no, the toilet seat. That's the
Yeah,
one.
oh,
Oh,
see,
how dare you forget to put that
because,
toilet seat? Don't you know I'm gonna get up in the middle of the night? You weren't thinking about me. Because if you
right,
were thinking about me, you would have put the toilet seat down. No, you wasn't thinking because you did it the other night too. And then where
right,
we at? Where we at?
see,
Where's it going?
right. And this is how the men are now. That's the point where that's why he's speaking up so much now. Because they said, shoot, you ain't gonna keep doing me like this. We got feelings. And I
Yes,
I appreciate that. But
yes.
women, I feel like we have to just stop. If we can, I feel like this. It is up to us to pause and just kind of take it for a moment.
Yeah.
Men I know don't argue. Like they just really don't argue back because men are just very black and white. They to the point. My dad, he was not about a whole bunch of words. Women, we define, we explain. We break it down with a map and everything. Men is ABC. Is one, two,
That's
three.
true. They're
Are we
logical.
done?
They like,
Right.
yeah,
And
straight
now,
logical.
right. And now they're
But
switching around.
logical with emotions. It's
Right.
just now they're not. See, the problem too with men would call men chumps if they showed how they felt or if they expressed what they felt.
Right.
But
Right.
now it's so many men talking, it's allowing
Right.
everybody to say, oh, it's good now. It's
Right
my
now,
turn.
everybody got feelings. Right.
Let's put some comments up real quick. All right. And they says, I love that. Let me undress some of this. Yes, my sister. It shows um, you were willing to change, aware of the need to change and requesting the patient. Yes, that's all I
Mhm.
need. Just give me a minute. I've had a rough, complicated life. Look, you
Right.
know,
Right. Put your
Give
finger
me,
up.
give me
Excuse
a
me.
minute and help me trust you. Help
Right.
me take. I don't want all. I never wanted. I inherited this stuff. I
Right.
never wanted all of this,
You
right?
said, I'm
But
trying
if
to
the right
unpack.
one come along that is strong enough to handle me, and I don't mean that in a negative, because I know
No.
me, it has to be someone to take me higher. It has to be someone to understand the
Right.
dynamics of Sheila with time and allow Sheila to be Sheila. In
Right.
terms of who I am. Don't come changing, talking about, don't do it, because see, then
Right.
we have a problem. Just let me be who God
Right.
wired me
Right.
to be and let me compliment you. Right?
Right.
I'm a
Right.
work in progress. And now,
No,
let's see what
just,
Sir Hill is saying.
just bear with me, bro. I'm coming.
Sir Hill says the part that stings to so many men is that we ask for so little and can't get that. Mm,
That's true. That's
stop
true.
with that. It drives the belief that so many women just don't care. Ooh,
No, it's true. It's true. It's
sad
because
though. It's so
men have
sad.
given, but men have given so much in treating us women as women. I mean, I say like this. I feel like, and men may not even like all this, but I feel men deserve flowers. You deserve candy. You deserve, whatever it is. You may not want a teddy bear, whatever. Listen, bro, you're gonna get this teddy bear,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm a gift
Okay,
giver
what you
like
say?
that. I'm a
Right.
gift giver. Yes.
I'm just they deserve just as much as we do. Treat one another the way you want to be treated. And it's true. Men have gone without
Wow.
so
That's so
much for so
powerful.
long. And
That's
we
and
as women, we take, and then we become spoiled. And then this is the condition that we're in. A man is supposed to provide for you, but you're not supposed to drain him, you
and they're
know.
not weak because they express this. See, that was the
Right.
problem why men weren't speaking. But now, women better back up, take like 5 seats in the back. Oh no, go up in the
Just,
bleachers because
yeah,
they are speaking, and I love it because as a woman, I didn't know the pain like that. I didn't
right,
know when
right.
because we always talk about how men hurt women. That's what
Mm-hmm.
you hear. What he do? He did what? He did what? He did what? In between that, you'll hear she did. But now, like I said, the women got to take 8 seats up in the bleachers because now you have to listen. If you want, if you want happiness, if you want to move forward,
Right.
take some seats backwards. This girl, Destiny, says a woman's pride is her husband.
That's good.
She's responding to being the flower in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what some of Facebook is saying. Hi, Facebook. I didn't forget you. Let's move it. Let's see. We got Jeanette. Yes, you got to come out a jewel, she says, to know where you stand and how you stand. My godson says, appreciate and support that man. And
That's
then he
right.
says, we have replaced substance with synthetics. Ooh.
Mm. Talking right, sir.
And then he says, no matter length of relationships, got to keep dating. Have fun with your best friend. That man slash
Right.
woman should be, and I agree with this, your best friend.
That's right.
Yes. You
That's
gotta be
right.
friend. You skip right over. You skip
Just
right over.
going straight crazy.
You in kindergarten, you don't went to the 6th grade. You ain't do nothing in between. You miss
And that's
all
why
of
it
that
falls apart.
information.
That's why it falls apart because there's nothing you've built nothing within that time.
But you know what happens with that when you get people who have gone through certain situations and have not done a lot of work in themselves. When they come
Mhm.
together, although they may have characteristics and interests in each other, they come and the war stories connect. Oh, I went through
Right.
such and such. Yeah, me too. I grew up this kind of way. And I'm not making fun. I'm just saying how you get in trouble.
That's real.
I went through this when I was young. And then she says, me too. Oh, really? I went through that too. Uh-oh. Here we go. It's starting. And nothing else happened other than the war stories. Now,
Right.
because of the emotions, this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
enough for them to move forward, but it's just emotional stuff. And most times, not most, I'll say some of the times, the stuff is dysfunctional or it hasn't been
Yeah.
purged, it hasn't been recycled, right? And
Yeah.
so that friendship piece is so vital to any couple, to anyone. And these things, I wish that, I have a show coming up with the millennials and the Gen Zs, and I had them on before, but I'm gonna let them
Mm-hmm.
really go for it,
Let them
the
loose.
next time. And I want to ask them some of these questions, like what
Yeah.
is the substance to what your relationships are? What are you guys doing? And I want to
Because
hear. Mm-hmm.
you know, you said it's talking about the war stories. That if all you are connected, if what keeps you connected is your war stories, what happens when you heal?
Mm.
What do you have, when you heal? Because eventually, the scars, the bruises, they do heal. You may pick at the scab for a while, on and off,
Right,
or
right.
remember, but eventually what happens, and I think that's what happens a lot of times. We outgrow our pains, we outgrow our war stories.
Mm.
But you get into this relationship, like you said, because this is what connected us, this is what excited us, and one of you starts healing before the other, and one of you
Oh,
decides, I don't want to
that's
be
good right
sad
there.
no more. I don't want to be stuck here no more. I don't want to be
Oh,
living in this mind space
trouble,
anymore. You know,
trouble.
and then you
You didn't
find
keep
that's when
up
you
with
start
each other.
finding out.
You didn't. You didn't.
Right.
And this one, so I'm outgrowing you. No,
Mm-hmm.
you just got healed and left this one behind. Y'all didn't get healed together. So
Right.
that is so true. So true. Sherrod says we must also look at the role social circles, including church, has played in the demise of relationships. Well, that's a whole show by itself,
Listen,
son. And it is
sir.
because yeah, because I mean we could it's so true.
Church
There's
pressure.
more divorce in churches than it is with people who are, non-believers or in other faiths, I believe. I mean, I was looking at
Yeah.
statistics a while ago, and it's really sad. That church hurt part two is coming up. I kept putting,
Hmm. I
we're
think,
gonna get to it.
is we just on that fact, like we hide behind the Bible and the scriptures and don't walk them out and don't really live them out.
But
Stop telling people.
yeah, telling people.
Yeah, stop telling people it's better to marry than a bird. No, because it's not. How about you teach them the different disciplines or the survival skills that they need, and that's why people end up marrying prematurely. People end up marrying unequally yoked. Unequally yoked doesn't mean just because you both going to church, that don't make you equally yoked. What is your relationship? What are your goals?
Yeah.
What's your vision? Do we complement one another? So that's a really good point.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, allegedly, I'll say, I have to learn how to use these words. TD Jakes had to go to court for something. A woman in his church was going through DV, domestic violence,
Hmm.
and she was staying with her husband because the church was telling her, I've been in that situation. I'm not even going to put me out there, but to stay with her husband, to stay, just stay. And so the judge went off on him, and this was in
Right.
some type of literature editorial or something, how the judge went off on him, saying he was so sick of the church telling women to stay in abusive relationships.
Hmm.
So this woman obviously had been there. I can't remember the whole article, but he checked him, like, what is wrong with you? For face to save face?
Right.
The
Right.
church is
That's not
image.
representing God.
Church is so full of image, 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 and it really destroys. It hurts when you come from out of something, especially if you're a new babe and you're just learning
Yeah.
about God and you didn't get your footing yet. You don't have a
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
foundation. You haven't done some of the work, but you're there. And when you get trapped off like that, and then you have a lot of men that always say, come to church because they want to marry a church girl. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes their
Right.
motive is not too cool, right? But women,
Listen.
look, let a new brother walk in the church. Because when you belong to a church, you remember the church, everybody know each other, right?
Right.
You know all the men, everybody know the women. This
Right.
is like family. Let a brother walk in the church, the whole head shift, all the women.
Everything. Like he don't. First of all, he don't even have to get to the audio. You sense it. It's like a radar, like a ping has gone out,
Woo!
across the airwaves.
Desperate.
So
That
your head
is
turned to the door
so
before he even get there.
that is so crazy.
It's true. It's true.
But sis, we have to get back to this place where, there's harmony and the separation of the men and women and the understanding of how we got to this place, where a man really wants to be our fence. They
Hmm.
really want to be able to put you behind that thing, do your thing, what you need. I got you. Relax. I don't know what I'd do with myself if that happened to me. I have to have a real particular man that God would have to wire because me. I'm like I like doing things. I mean, I can still do
Honestly,
house stuff, but I'm an
yeah,
artist, right? So I need a
right,
special kind of guy, right? Because I'm gonna sing a song somewhere.
right.
I'm
Us
going,
creatives, yeah, yeah. Us creatives are special. We different breed. We different.
so funny. But there's someone for everyone, but you have to be ready to receive that.
Yeah,
And I'm just so happy to understand more about the men that have been suffering in silence.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Women are some treacherous something. We could be, listen,
We special.
that's
We a
cute.
special kind. I
That's
love
so
us. I love us, but I'm like, ladies, let's get it. We gotta get it together, women. I'm team feminine, but we gotta get it together. We doing some. We done lost it. We done went rabbit fool out here and just, it's
yeah,
like we got to bring it back in. We got, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I just, can't believe if we've just got ourselves to this place where we are so defensive that we just don't know how to let a man be a man in your life. He is not in competition with you, and I feel like it really is up to us to take that seat. Just take the L. Just,
yeah,
brother,
yeah,
hug it out. Let's just hug it out. I'm sorry. Men need to hear I'm sorry. Men need to
yeah,
hear I understand. You don't even have to always he's not necessarily looking for you to be right all the time. He
right.
just wants to know that you understand. Just like we want
That's
our
true.
feelings validated. Validate the man's
Yeah,
feelings. He's a man. He's not a machine.
yeah,
We've been taught like men don't have feelings. They do. They
yeah.
do,
I know.
and we have to fix that.
I used to always. I have said many times. I don't like what you did, but I understand why you did it. That's a big
Hmm.
difference. You could your children can do something that you really be like, how did you do that? Why did you do that? And you give them a voice to explain how they got to that place. You'll understand how they got to that place. You don't
Hmm.
necessarily like what happened. And it's the same thing. Understanding in a relationship goes a long way, right? Because we're different people. We're wired different. We come from two different places, right? Two different mindsets, two different educations. So you have to, it's like we have to be able to merge that, complement it, have the balance, and keep the communication. Because I know a lot of times what happens, even with women that are flowers behind the fence and the men is the fence, the man is the fence, because of lack of communication,
Yes,
everything breaks down. Because once
and
you
be
stop
good.
talking, once you turn your like I ain't talking, you be like, well, what is it?
Right.
Well, how can I? Where are we going with that? The
Yeah.
communication.
That was me. That
That
was
was
me.
you.
Oh,
Oh,
I was the
okay.
ice queen. Oh, I was what? I was the ice queen, sir. Don't even finish your sentence. You about two words in it. I shut it all the way down.
Wow.
Horrible.
And just turn all the way
Horrible.
down and don't.
Ooh. Like I didn't even know you. Married to you. Like I don't even know you.
Oh,
I was. I mastered that so well. I
you
really did.
mastered.
I could have taught a class in the shutdown. I could
Why
have taught.
you think that? If you don't mind, say, do you think that that was something emotionally that what would cause you to shut down to that degree? Like, was you don't have to expose too much, but in terms
No,
of you,
I'm an open book. For me, it had a lot to do with dealing with disappointment. It wasn't
Ah,
emotional. It was an emotional place, and because I always had to, relationship wise, take care of myself.
okay,
I was not in a place where I was going to let you come in and just talk to me or tell me any old kind of thing. Like, you just couldn't do it. So the
okay.
minute you start saying something to me that, not that it wasn't right, but something that I did not like.
The way he said it, or you
Nope,
just didn't like
not
it?
even not even the
Oh,
way he said.
mm,
He said it just as sweet, as calm,
wow.
because I have a little bit of a temper. I'm quick to, I'm like, okay, I've learned. I bring it down. Like, everything is not, a 10 fire alarm, but I had to learn how to listen to the things that I don't want to hear.
Okay,
And then I
okay.
didn't want to hear it because I felt like you don't have, like, it was the defense of, I worked really hard to get where I am and to have what I have and to do what I'm doing, and for you to come along, I heard what they said wasn't always what I heard.
Ah,
So I was shut down. And I'd be like, because ain't no way you're
ah,
going to tell me, because I really don't need you. I was just taking that.
okay.
So, and I was doing myself a disservice. That is damage that I can say that I caused, in my marriage, in my first marriage. Like, that was one thing. It was a lack of communication because I didn't want to communicate. I don't want to hear you.
I get
I don't want
it.
to hear you because at that point, I didn't have any respect for you because you had disappointed me so many times. Instead of
Okay.
saying it to you
Yeah,
and being
yeah.
honest, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but
Mm.
I still ended
You
up
were,
hurting your
yeah,
feelings.
you were doing
Oh, I,
more than hurting his feelings. You was
I was
crushing him.
killing them. I was
Let's see
killing
what Sir Hell is saying over here. He says, men fear and know that in most cases, women can't handle the heart of men. We only go deep because we would rather limit transparency than risk losing the respect of our women. That's why you have to be so guarded. Why?
because
Why?
men, I just
I mean, why do
men.
I have? I mean, I guess that's how I got hurt so much because I just put it out there, and I because as a communicator, right?
Hmm.
I put it out there because I'll suffer whatever the consequences are by sharing my feelings and my emotions. And there's been times you could hurt my feelings and I might cry, but I make it clear that these tears are not tears of weakness. These tears are tears that I'm emotionally hurt. Because every
Right,
time you cry, people think, oh, you weak. These are emotional. I'm not weak. There's nothing weak about me. But,
right.
then that's knowing your mate, right? That's knowing
Hmm.
your mate. But this comment that Sir Hale just put up, men fear and know that in most cases, women can't handle. I'm glad he put most in there. Ooh,
Yes,
I'm glad he put that little word in there.
it
Most
makes a difference.
cases, women can't handle the heart of men. We only go deep because we would rather limit, that means just a little bit, limit
Hmm. Hmm.
what I could see, transparency, than risk losing the respect of our women. That means we got to get with the right women and you got to
Yeah.
get with the right man because they know in the world that's not good.
So every woman doesn't have the capacity or is equipped to deal with what comes with that man, and vice versa. But
You got to,
men, it's again, it goes back to how we were taught, or what our perception of a man is supposed to be. And when you fall below that, here we are ripping you apart instead of making it a safe space for you to be you.
Yeah, I like this Ine Bravette. Wow, at Sir Hale Speaks Network. I like that. Thank you for pulling the curtains back so women are wiser about how men feel. And he does that. That's like his
Hmm.
platform. He goes hard with that. He exposes the enemy, right? Because he's also a pastor, right? So he has depth for spiritual insight with revelation for the natural problems, right? Those of us that have the Holy Spirit, we know, you know, what's going on. And so he has another comment. Gosh, I should have just brought him up.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
are
come
two
on.
women that can break a man, his mom and the woman he loves. It's why Proverbs 31 says that in her in her does his heart safely trust. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, Sir Hill. Hold on one second.
That's
This
good.
is something. Oh my goodness. This is something. Oh wow, that's so powerful. That's so I mean, I love it because we need this type of insight. I don't know if I did that right. I've never sent the Did I do that right, Sir Hill? I think I did. Um Yeah, this is powerful. This is powerful. I have to get him. We're gonna get him for the next week, and I always want. I love when I'm on with him or I listen to him. Right? Sometimes I
Hmm.
can't stay up as long as they stay up on Super Sunday because they go for like 4 hours straight
Oh,
in the
they in it. They
panel.
in it.
Yes,
Okay.
it's. I hope that I sent the right link. Let me know if I did. Um, Let me know if I sent the right link to you. I'm hoping I did. Sir Hale, did I send you the right link?
Oh, shucks, now it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. It's about
Yeah.
to go down.
He's going to bring some knowledge. All right.
It's about to go down.
So set the stage on fire, sir.
He has
Set
something
the
to
stage on
say.
fire.
He has something to say.
Yeah, the
Let's,
male voice is so important in every arena, and it makes such a difference.
yeah, it is. So I'm hoping I sent him the right link. This is the first time I usually mail the links out, but if I did, he'll click or he'll let me know what to do. But
Right.
this is such a powerful conversation to understand. There he is. There he is. Hi, Sir Hill.
All right, sir.
Unmute.
Hey there, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Welcome, Sir Hill. Nice to
Yes,
see
sir.
you.
Hey, thanks so much. Listen, so I'm driving in my truck, so that's why I'm off of the camera. But yeah, this is such a beautiful concept, a conversation tonight, and I
Mhm.
want to show some love to the one and the only Bravo with Sheila with that beautiful smile. So good to see you tonight, and to Lady Don, really good to see you. When I hear ladies talking about this and from a place of care, it I won't say it's foreign, but the level of maturity that I hear, and not even maturity, it's care. And I don't think that culturally we've done a good enough job showing men how much we care about them, and that
Mhm.
Mhm.
you having feelings and you having I'm gonna say a cuss word, Bravo. So please forgive me when I say
Do
this.
your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah. So having emotions, having those feelings, having
Right.
those. Sorry for cussing. So, having those, you're less masculine. And I think that hearing women not only say that, not only do we acknowledge that you have feelings, that you got those things, you got emotions, and that it's okay, but I'm going to respect those. You don't have to worry about losing respect if you are open to me. Now,
Mhm.
I'll say this with my platform, I routinely tell men that there's a level of transparency. When I say transparency, if you've been in film or camera, you know what I mean. Like there's a certain level of exposure you have, and that exposure changes what you're able to see within the picture.
Hmm.
The more transparent it is, the more you see it. The less it is, you get a chance to see it, but it's not as clear. And
Uh,
and so I tell men that depending on the woman you're with, you may have to uh, reduce the transparency because she doesn't have the capacity to handle the real picture.
Right.
And this is what most men are looking for in women that they love. Now I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna get me in trouble.
Go
But
ahead.
a lot of times, men will be with a woman, but will cheat with somebody else, and a lot of times we assume that he's cheating for sex, and sometimes he's not cheating for sex; he's cheating for an ear. Like
You're
if you
right.
look at the story with Samson, the thing that got Delilah, it never talked about how beautiful she was or how attractive she was. It didn't say she was twerking that thing, and it didn't say she was dropping like it. It didn't say none of that.
Mhm.
It said
Talking
though
right.
that she asked him questions and she listened. And I don't think women understand how beautiful a woman becomes when she has the ability to ask him questions to get to know him and then has a heart to listen to him, right? And what a lot of wives are told to is talk, 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 talk. Yeah, all right. And what it really is when a wife loves her husband, she can hear him as well.
Mm,
Right.
And this is what separates wives from women who are married. A woman who's married ain't
Mm.
guaranteed that she can hear you, but a wife is trained on how to listen to even what her man doesn't say. And this is why old school women,
Talking right.
the man didn't have to say very much. She knew how to read him because she was trained to hear him on a frequency that other women couldn't hear him on. And so I'm grateful that you're talking about this because it needs to be said. And men want to love women, but we desperately need to know that our women love us back and that we don't have to risk the concern of losing respect by us being open and transparent with you when we're dealing with the pressures of life.
that's awesome. That's so
Yep.
powerful, Sir Hale. That's so very powerful. I'll greet your wife. Hello, Talk Hale. How are you, my dear sister? Come through with the listening skill. She's something else. She supports her husband so much. And not just that. Um,
Amen.
she
Stay on
said
the
that's a
wall,
whole
girl.
street training. It was a lost skill, not passed down. Yeah. And so I can, from the little bit that I do know about Sir Hale and his wife, she is that woman in the garden and he is that fence. And that's beautiful, right?
Amen.
And he'll always
Amen.
say, we're not perfect, but they come from years and years when they were young. They have four beautiful children, but they know each other and they've grown with each other, right? And they have two different temperaments, but they complement each other, but they communicate. And she is
Mm-hmm.
that woman in the garden. She's that flower in the garden, and he has that fence, right? And that's why he cannot probably one of the main reasons why he can speak to men the way that he does, because I always tell him and her they have a old soul. They're very young,
Mm-hmm.
but they have an old soul because we talked earlier about experience, right? Experience will
Mm-hmm.
give you so many years ahead of your time, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
17, but I was 35, right?
Right.
I sure was. Facebook, let's see what you're saying. My son says, we must also look at the role. Oh, we said that already. Jeanette said that means men can't deal with the transparency of a woman's feelings. That's what Jeanette is asking. Does that mean that men can't deal with the transparency of a woman's feelings? That's not what he's saying. Sir Hill.
No.
But it's a really good question, and I'll tell you why. Men are classically trained to care about women. Just think about this. If you in a store and there are men around and you say, "Oh my God," and you scream, you're gonna have men come to rescue because we're trying to figure out what if
What
if
happened?
if a lady if there's a concern, there's gonna be men around. If a man hollers, they're gonna look at him like he crazy. Take care of yourself, right?
Mm,
So men, from an instinctual perspective, we know how to take care of our women. Also, a lot of us were raised by mamas, so we were trained how to take care of women, how to look after them, even if his needs are unmet. Even if his
True.
needs are unmet. How many
True.
sons take care of their mama and they put themselves in a bind for mama? How many men take care of their woman and don't get that reciprocated? So we're
mm,
trained. But the reason that what she asked is such a good question is because the honest truth is no. See, if a man can't be transparent with himself, he doesn't have the tools it takes to truly understand his woman. And this is why it's so important that women understand men. Because when we pour into each other and we give that understanding, it's that reciprocity that makes relationships go well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
whenever it's one sided, somebody is going now this gonna take a turn. Is
oh, it's
equivalent
about
to
to take a turn.
yep. So it's like somebody making love, somebody getting what they want, somebody reaching that happy place, and the other
Mm-hmm.
person frustrated. It is not when it comes to life. It's not supposed to be that way. We're supposed to do
Right.
that dance, and the whole goal is not for me to get mine and then you get yours. It's for us to make music together, to be
That's right.
synchronized, to make some poetry. And by the time we're done, we end what we're doing at a high together and not just somebody got what they need by themselves. As it
Yes.
is when it comes to that intimate part, so it is with everything else in life. And so her question is great, even though I think it stems from a misunderstanding, but that
Mhm.
birthed way for me to tell that it's correct. If men can't be true to what they feel, they don't have the capacity to really give women the understanding that they need. So it behooves both men and women to give each other space to be human, so we can provide each other with what we need.
I
That's
like
good.
that. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
good
You
stuff.
want to speak to that, Dawn?
I'm getting ready to send him an offering, mail some
Give
juice
me
to his
send them.
wife.
Give me. We're
And,
gonna
and
send the plate around.
we're gonna send some, yeah, we're gonna send the plate, some juice and the
Some
towel to
juice
his
and a
wife. We're gonna
towel.
send it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah, sure. That's a whole word by itself. It's just a whole word by itself, and it's good
Yeah,
all by itself. No, I totally agree. And I don't want to say I buy into that thought, but I totally agree and understand. And
yeah,
for us women, we have to learn how to walk that out, how to make that happen. Because it's one thing to have the knowledge,
yeah.
you know but the wisdom comes in knowing how to apply that knowledge, and we have to be willing to do that. We have to make it safe for men to
Safe.
to be who they are. I was reading a book um by someone that I connected with through another ministry called Her Lap His Safe Place. Is
Oh,
by
what?
Her Lap His Safe Place,
Oh, okay.
um by Prophet Michael Claiborne. And speaking of, just like he brought up the point of Samson, and Delilah, what made him feel comfortable, because
Right.
she allowed him, she heard him, she listened to him. Like I said, he didn't talk about her beauty, but she gave an ear. We have to learn how to do that to make it a safe space for men to be who you are, good, bad, indifferent, undeveloped, as well as developed, and
That's key.
we also have to learn as women
That's
that,
key.
yeah, that balance is not that everything looks the same. You know, we have to learn that the way we receive something is not the way the man receives it.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
might
true.
like ice cream and I like ice cream, but you might like vanilla, I might like strawberry. But it's still, we have to learn how to give them what they need the way they need it, not the way we want to give it.
And yeah,
Because that then makes them feel more heard, understood, and
yeah.
valued. That we value them. But no, Sir Hale, he didn't put the.
Yeah, that safe place is key though. The safety, the safe, because it's like that. I don't know about you, but with me, I have to feel safe in order to be
Oh,
transparent. I mean, share things with you, but there's certain things I'll hold back because I know you can't handle it.
there's
I've
layers.
had I've had relationships where we had great relationship, but I knew the capacity of him,
Hmm.
and I knew my capacity. And sometimes, if you're ahead of the game on certain experiences with your mate, you have to know when to hold them and fold them and grow to that. So that, because timing is everything, right? Timing is everything. What you say at the wrong time could destroy the understanding you could have gotten if you just waited, right?
Yeah.
So I've had situations where I couldn't even express. Now, in the beginning, I would get frustrated, but then I would weigh the situation, weigh the man, and say that's a small thing, right? That'll come. But sometimes we get so impatient. If a man missed the mark, we'll knock down all the positive things that he did do or did
I get
understand
you.
about me, and then we feel because he missed that he's lost. And he's
Right.
not. It's just that the capacity he hasn't grown to. So
Right.
we have to be able to trust. He has to be able to trust us, and I have to be able to trust. So I didn't get frustrated at that moment that I couldn't reveal that because I understood who I was with.
Mm-hmm.
And he just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ready. He was in his not yetness for
Right.
that type
Right.
of information, right? Because I always tell my daughters, my children, who is going to be able to handle me with the complexity of my life? And they said, well, you don't have to say everything, but I'm transparent, right? So, but then I realized you got to be careful because everybody can't handle you and everybody don't have the capacity of your life, right? Because I'm like, if I say this, they said, well, don't say that. I said, then I'm gonna have to talk about it for 1 month because he probably won't understand it. And like, it's so much, right? Your life is your life. What you've experienced is your experience. Yes, sir, Harold.
So I wanted to jump in here because this is what a lot of our beautiful sisters and Bravo and Sheila, like, really, you have $1 million smile. You need to do some commercials. Like, you have a beautiful smile, beautiful heart.
Yeah.
And Lady Don, I'm sitting here. I say, hey, babe. Hi. Yeah, I'm sitting here with my wife, and we're talking about how beautiful this conversation is.
Tell her.
Um,
Tell her.
Yeah, so this is so ladies, it's a lot of ladies think that men can't handle, all of what they have to say and their complexities. A man who loves you, he hears you, it's just he processes it longer because he don't want to mishandle you. So I'll give
Mm,
you an example. So you tell him something one day and it's like he not giving you the response you're looking for, or he don't even seem interested. If that man loves you, he's not going to give you a feminine emotional response because women are it's instant emotion. It's instant. "Oh, girl, that was so good. Girl, oh that girl, you bad on that girl." That's not how men roll. Men
Right.
take some time to process because while you're talking, he's building. And so
mm,
I want our sisters to know that if a man
Mm-hmm.
if he's acting really emotional, he ain't hearing nothing you saying. But if he's quiet while you're talking, because he loves you, he's trying to create a way to make whatever's putting a smile on your face come in real life.
wow, that
So
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
don't think he's not hearing you. He's hearing you, but he's building in his head to give you whatever's making you smile.
Wow, that's so important to know because we're so used to responding, responses. I just said something so deep. I just told you what happened to me, and you're not saying anything. That's the
Right.
first response, right? Like, how could I express this? This was deep. You didn't feel what I said.
Right. Because again, we
You didn't
expect
feel
it
what I
back.
said.
We
And
expect
what
it
he
back the way we
said
give it.
answered everything. Answered
Hmm.
everything. That's the logical. Just let a man, he hears it. But here we go. Let me be the flower in my garden. And just what he just said was the fence around me.
Right. Right.
Come on, yeah, that's good.
I got that. That's something that's like tucked away. That's tucked away. Go ahead.
I just want to add
Word for
one
the
more
book.
thing, and this is why it's so important. Ladies, don't make your man your girlfriend. Don't make him that,
Mm,
because if you make your man your girlfriend, you're going to miss the benefit of the builder. You need
wow.
your girlfriend to have the party with, to have the emotional response with. Talk about how,
Hmm.
girl, you bad girl. I can't believe he did that. Girl, they did that to you. Girl. You need that. Keep your girlfriend, but keep your man in a building position, because if you try to make him be both, he can't give you the emotional attention you want while also building at the same time.
Right.
I
So
like
women need to
that.
have a girlfriend and allow their man to be their man as well. Let him be the fence.
Oh, yes, 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 and yes. I have to get one of those things to get the sounds. I need sounds. I need a Hammond B3 over here. I need something like that. So Lady Hale says sometimes we have to give him processing time. Like when
Yeah.
teaching a kid something new, you give them some time to process before they respond. Got it. Noted. Got it. It's tucked away. It's right here. Be the fence. I want a man to be the fence. You know that
Be
song. You could switch up the word Jesus.
it.
Be the
Be.
fence all around. That's an old one. We're gonna
Listen.
revamp it, make a song. Listen, this has been so, so, so good. Oh my God, Lady Dawn, and oh my God, I'm so glad that Sir Hale and his beautiful wife
Yes.
jumped in. This was so rich, and you dropped
Team
some
Hale. Yes.
powerful,
Yes.
powerful jewels. And I know, Sir Hale, you should be proud. You and Lady Hill, I know how to go and make a short now. Drop the bomb and make a short,
Oh,
Sheila.
snaps. Watch
Oh,
out, YouTube.
oh snaps for sure.
She
I
growing.
I did a short. And when I did a conversation with him and his wife, as soon as I put it up, it got 1,000 hits. So I was like, oh,
All
okay,
right. All right.
yeah.
Awesome.
He's the short man. See, they know all to do that IT stuff. I'm learning. I'm learning. But this has been, I know, Lady Hill, I told you I was going to be a good student. I am learning, learning, learning. So listen, this has been awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited about this conversation. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that my dear favorite people popped on with me. They always support. And we'll be back. What is today? Today's Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday with another show. I tell you, I'm into all of these African proverbs. I don't know. The Lord just led me to them and said, talk about all of them. This is
All
going to
right.
help. Talk or break it down and get into it. And I would love, maybe when Sir Hale and his wife have time, or maybe we could open up the panel, further and have a deep conversation. Yes, Sir Hill. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lady
Amen.
Hill. Thank you so much.
Team
I'll see you
Hell.
again.
Woo,
Much
woo,
love
woo,
to you
woo.
too. Uh-huh. And so that was awesome, Dawn. That was so wonderful. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was wonderful talking. I have a new sister that God has sent in my life. Her name is Grace, Simply Grace. I want you guys to go to her channel and subscribe. She is an incredible, incredible influencer. She's everything. She's a lot. I can't just size her up in one thing, right? I just can't do it. But awesome, awesome content. And she's going to be doing some wonderful things. Uh, all right,
Wonderful.
Lady Hill, I love you so much, guys. This was awesome. Dawn, this was a good, good conversation.
The
Um,
best Tuesday night spot to be in.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We went over, but it was awesome. That's what I love about YouTube. You do your thing. Let's see what Facebook is saying. I'm sure they've been hanging out. I'm so glad Facebook hung out with us. This was awesome. Facebook, I love you guys so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up. I need you to hit that thumbs up going on the way
Yeah.
out. If you have not hit it on the way in, right? And so Dawn, stay right there. Listen, all of the Bravettes and the Brave Brothers, thank you
Right.
so much for
Yeah.
being here. I wasn't able to listen in, but I left the stream running. Okay. I hope that helps your analytics. Oh, that is so kind. They're trying to push me. They're trying to push
That's
me.
right.
That's so sweet, right? So very sweet. So it's been a good night. Dawn, don't move. We're going to close out the show with something simple.
All
Something
right.
simple. Let's just do the outro intro. Remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. This is my co host, Lady Dawn B. And she'll put co-hosts up the next time. I'm a spank her because she didn't do it, but
Oh,
she'll put it up the next time. We had
okay.
a good time with all of you. We had a wonderful time with all of you on Facebook. Really, really did. Join us again on Thursday for another hot topic that we're going to break down. All right.
Mhm.
Ciao.